So Amit Malviya, Twitter puts out legal demand data in the public domain, and if you compare the number of legal demands being made by a country like India, which is a democratic country, relative to other countries which are also democracies, India ranks much higher. As Dorsey says, the number of demands coming in from the Indian government are closer to a country like Turkey, Nigeria, which aren't known as being part of the liberal order, and therefore suggesting that India, in his view, despite being a democracy, has far more restrictions on free speech than most countries. I mean, US and the United Kingdom, I have the data before me, give only a fraction of the number of requests that a country like India is giving to social media giants like Twitter, asking them to take down posts which the government doesn't like for various reasons.
Rahul, can I take this question if you allow me?
Just one second. Amit Malviya, please.
Rahul, first of all, I have a bit of a disagreement with what Sanjay Hegde had to say. It is not for these platforms to decide what can be shown and what cannot be shown. There is a very clear law in the country, whether you are a publisher, do you exercise editorial control? There is a certain shareholding pattern that has been prescribed for it if you are a foreign entity, or you are a simple platform. In both the cases, the law regulating your operation in the country differs. This is a matter of technicality, legality, company law, and all companies are to adhere. Platforms like Twitter and Facebook and other social media platforms cannot dictate to governments that they will do what they think right, because they are not sovereign republic. They operate here, they earn money from here, they have to pay taxes here, they have to be accountable and follow the rules of the land. Let's be very, very clear about that. Twitter thought for a while that they could get away, but of course the government of the day had different ideas, and we know how to enforce laws, we know how to ensure that corporates that operate here stick to the framework that is applicable to all. We have to ensure a level playing field. Coming to the point of requests, now the requests that go has to be looked in terms of either number of users or population per lakh. It can't be just absolute numbers. And for India as a democratic country, it's again not for platforms like Twitter to sit in judgment of whether we are democratic enough or not, whether we are upholding free speech or not. There is a certain statute in the books, there is a constitutional framework, and then there are courts. We decide what is free speech. The Twitter, or for that matter any other social media platform, cannot sit in judgment and censor people, take down posts, restrict reach, which is what Twitter was doing for the longest time.
But the government can't decide what is free speech either, Mr. Malviya. The government can't decide what is free speech either. You would not like anything which is anti-you. That would be a very restricted way of looking at free speech.
Rahul, let me just finish this. You are absolutely right. The government cannot decide, and the government should not decide, and no government should decide what is free speech or not. But the government certainly can make demand, and if, for example, an account is indulging in criminal activity, or is promoting terror, or is peddling pornography or pedophilia, naturally the government of the day is well within its right and to ask for the account to be taken down, and social media platforms have no other option but to comply. The end user, the aggrieved party in this case, can go to the court and seek remedial. For example, I know for a fact that Sanjay Hegde's account was shut down for whatever reason it was, and he had the option to go to the court and seek remedial course. Whatever happened eventually is a matter of judicial process, but those options are available. So I am completely in sync with the fact that governments do not decide what is free speech and what is not free speech. But we have reasonable restrictions in India. Let's talk about US, where the First Amendment gives absolute freedom of speech. What was Twitter doing there? Twitter was in cohorts with the agencies there and pulling down, for example, the New York Post, which put out a story on Hunter Biden. On the other side, New York Times, which put out details of Trump's tax filing, were put on the public domain, which is actually a violation of the US laws. And Twitter was party to that violation. So let's not take Twitter's word as gospel.
Okay.
The track record under Dorsey was dark and checkered.